There is no virtue in being good if you are weak. Usually you will see people that are so-called nice, and you will say these people are good people. But what you will notice about these individuals is in the face of evil or in the face of danger, these people are quite often powerless. And the reason is because they have to be nice. But there's no ability to defend themselves. There's no ability to defend others. There's no ability to have the skills to do the right thing. So you have to understand that the way that the world is constructed, there are people, there are forces that will come against you. And you being a good person may often lead to you being a victim, not necessarily physically, not necessarily in the physical violence way. That can happen, but that doesn't have to happen. So what you want to do is you want to build yourself mentally as well as physically, so that number one, you can defend yourself. Number two, you can defend others, your family. Number three, you can do the right thing or stand up for the right thing in the face of evil. It's one thing that, let's say I'm training, right, UFC. If I'm training UFC and there's an issue that arises, I can make a decision if I want to harm a person or if I don't want to harm a person. If I want to just try to resolve it through words, I can make that decision. So I can do something or I can't do something. Or if somebody is mouthing off or if they're speaking, I can actually step in and say something. And if it comes to physical altercation, I can be ready for it. But if I am not trained, if I am weak, then I can't do the right thing. I have to be nice and try to resolve it that way. So ultimately, you want, and that's just a simple example, but ultimately there are many people that are good because they have to be good. They're not good because they're making a choice to say, you know what, I can eliminate this person, or I can I can do what I want in this situation, but I'm going to relax and not do anything. I'm going to choose not to do anything. Oftentimes your family may be in situations, or your business may be in a situation. Now, if you don't have any skill to combat the situation, you have to be nice. If you don't have any knowledge, legal knowledge in something, and there's a legal case, you have to be nice, or you have to count on the other person showing you mercy when they were trying to harm you in the first place. So you see that what I notice is that so-called not good or evil people, they don't have a problem with being dangerous. They don't have a problem with doing whatever it takes to bring pain or harm or discomfort to you. But I noticed that good people, so-called virtuous people, they don't want to take that route, or they're not prepared to take the route. And I'm saying to you is you should be prepared to take the route, because you may have to be prepared, or you may have to protect yourself or to protect others. You don't have to be disrespectful, but you should be dangerous if you need to be dangerous. And that's with responsibility. And again, it doesn't mean I'm speaking physical in the sense that, yeah, we know that if you need to get into a fight, you can handle business. If you need to pull a weapon, you can handle business. Those are the great things. But what about the knowledge? Dangerous in the knowledge, dangerous in the psychology, dangerous in the development of the mind. Most of the things that we need to handle on this planet, in this dimension, have to do with our mind. If your mind is a fortress, if your mind is strong, if you have skills mentally, you can combat most people, because this is a thinking, life is a thinking person's game. But if you're just relying on being nice and being jolly, you are at the mercy, because usually these people that do the most heinous things, they are masterminds. They can really critically think, and they don't even think twice about doing something to you or to your business or to somebody you love. They don't think twice about it. They don't have those reservations. They don't have that reticence to bring harm to you. So part of being in this existence is understanding the protection, defense. As they say in sports, defense wins championships. And if you want to win the championship in life, you need to be dangerous enough to defend yourself or other people. So you need to have those skills. But most people are nice because they have to be, not because this is an option. You want it to be the option. You know what? I will not pursue. I will not do this to them, even though I could. Now that's virtuous. That's virtue right there. When you know that you could do something, but you're not going to do something. You could take advantage, but you won't take advantage. You could harm them, but you won't. You're deciding to take another path and say, you know what? These are good people. I wouldn't do that to them. They don't know what they don't know. So let me show them, or let me help them. That's even better. Let me help them. See, that's what, in the physical sense, that's what martial arts teaches you, to try to resolve it a different way, not necessarily just because you know how to fight, you going out picking fights. So you want to be a dangerous person. You don't need to be loud and you don't need to be boisterous and all of that, but you should be dangerous. So you can be a kind person. You don't necessarily have to be a nice person, because nice is you doing things that you often don't want to do, but you're doing them because you kind of have to do them. You know you don't want to go here, but you going because they asked you to go and you don't want to tell them no. So there's a difference between this nice and be kind. You can help people, but you don't have to be a doormat. So the things that people say, oh, so-and-so is a nice person, or you're thinking that it's virtuous, you're doing something. No, it's because you have to be that way. You have to be that way because you're powerless. You have to be that way because you're powerless. But when you have power, you can make either or. You can make a decision and say, no, I'll do it this way. Or no, that's not happening. Now we can handle this however you want to handle it. When you have those options, when you have that type of power, then you're very powerful. But when something comes against you and you have to accept whatever's going on, you're going to be nice because you want to lessen the blow. You don't want the fallout. But those people that have a lot of malice in their heart, they don't care about a fallout. They don't care about getting into it. That's actually what they thrive on that. And they know, and this is the thing, most people that do malicious things, they know that most people aren't cut, especially so-called good people. They're not cut. They're not willing, because willingness is, here's the thing, willingness is power. When you got a person and you know that they are willing to do anything to defeat you, that is a dangerous person. But most people, most good people, they're not willing to do anything because they're thinking about all of the consequences. They're thinking about all of this stuff that, well, if I do this, or they don't have it in them. And because they don't have it in them, they lose. But you have to be willing to stand up for something. There's some things that you have to be. You can't allow people to just do things to you. Some things you let go. I get it. Some things you like, it wasn't worth it. You know, they owed me $200. Let them go. But other things, you kind of have to morph into another person, or use that, as they call it, the shadow self. Now I got to use my shadow self, my dark side, because we all have it. But some people can't act. They can't act because they don't activate that shadow. They don't have the skills to go with it. They don't have the ability. So they have to accept, oh, I'm going to be nice in it. because they're worried about what somebody else is going to say or what they would do to them. So be dangerous, be kind, but be dangerous. That means that in the physical sense, as I always say, we want to make sure we're eating good, right? We want to make sure we're in great health. We want to make sure you're training. You train for life. You go to the gym to train. You don't go to work out. You train because you don't know the situations that you might be in, where you have to help somebody or you have to help yourself. So training is important. Weight training, all types of training, whatever that training is. If you want to do martial arts, you can do that. But training, staying athletic as long as you can, is important. You train your brain to be dangerous. You are reading, you are studying. You train yourself because you don't know the situation that you may be in. If you're in business or if you're on a job, you train yourself because it's your job to protect what you have, because other people are wanting to take it or they want to pose a threat. And so in that case, you have to be ready. Simple. Not that you're looking for anything with anybody, but guess what? I'm ready if it happens. So that's why we train. Why? Because prevention, an ounce of prevention is better than a pound of remedy. So we would rather prevent. But you being overly nice and all, there's no virtue in that. There's no virtue in that. When evil forces come, when people come against you and you can't do anything. So it's a cover-up that I notice for a lot of people. It's a cover-up. I always use this example, and I can say this with women. Some guys are so-called nice, but they're really not nice. They're really snakes. They're just doing that to get whatever it is that they want. They're trying to be a friend. They're trying to be nice in hopes that things might turn around, that this woman might make a decision to be with them, intimately or otherwise. Whereas another guy will come and he'll be truthful. He'll say everything up front, and it'll look like he's a negative guy. But actually, he's the better guy because he's being truthful. So even to a degree, I don't necessarily trust nice people because they're not honest most times. Because not everybody, you can't be nice 24/7. Anyway, I digress. The point is be kind, be good, but be dangerous. When most people are nice, it's because they have no other choice. And so it makes them seem like they're virtuous, but they're not virtuous. They're essentially powerless. So hopefully I'm clear on this message. Hopefully it makes sense to you. I'm not encouraging that you be a bad person. I'm encouraging that you be a prepared person, because the world is full of evil. And we want to be able to combat anything that comes our way to the best that we can. Simply that.